With sound.
With sound, huh? Yeah. Hopefully. I would like to go back a little bit to Parshas Bereshis with a subject that there was a Siyata Dishmaya. I was working on a certain subject which I was not going to speak today, but we were Friday night by somebody, and there was there an invitee, and he asked about that he heard that there is a Jewish goddess, the ancient Jewish goddess, une déesse, and he was kind of critique. I wonder, it was a bit of critique on that. Yeah, even the Jews, they had a Jewish goddess.
In the kitchen.
Yes. What? Sorry.
In the kitchen, there's a Jewish goddess.
Yeah, there's a Jewish goddess in the kitchen. I'll tell it to your wife. I think that's your perception. That's already it's a compliment for your wife. But I'll tell it to your wife as well. I'll see her, I think, on the 3rd of November with Ashes High. She invited me to speak by the ladies. Comment? Ouais. Ouais. Ah, il y a... Ok, on peut le faire en français. Ouais. En anglais, c'est trop...
Si on fait en français, alors moi je devrais
Je vais... Ouais. I'll do it in English anyway, like this also because I'm recording it and later on I'll do it in English, but we can discuss in French. But the context will be in English, also for myself later. There is a very interesting concept that I forgot. I brought everything, I prepared everything, and I forgot the most important book, which is the Zoya, that I prepared already. But anyway, you'll have to trust me in the way that I'm reading it. But there is, we always know that the godly figure, the divine figure that we want to pray to is what we call a fatherly figure. So he's a father to us. Ovinu Malkeinu. We see him as a father who loves us, and when he punishes us with love. Like a father is teaching and punishing his son, he's trying to fix him, is also God punishes us. So we see in God a father figure and also a king figure. And the king figure we already discussed. The king is also somebody that is dependent on his nation. A king, we have to be mamlich. God is only our king if we are making him a king. So he depends on our mamloch, and that is what a lot of Meforshim explain is the whole idea of Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, he waits for us to be mamlich him, and therefore he can be our king. Otherwise, he is a Moshe. He is a ruler and not a king. A king receives a special appointment by the nation. What is a little bit missing in this picture is what we all sometimes long for in our lives, and this is the mother figure. We don't have a mother figure from God. So a mother figure which gives us the warmth and the protection that we long so much. And this figure is not part of our liturgy and of our tefillas, and so it's a little bit interesting how it's missing. So we don't have this mother figure as such. Sorry? Yeah, so they are our mothers, but God is not considered, we don't speak on God in terms of our mother. We speak about him as our father, but not our mother. And so there's a kind of a missing element here. What? No, but that's why. Oh, but that's the whole idea. So we never speak. We always making a male a father. Exactly. So you need a female.
So
but
it's in French we say asexué.
Oh, so normally we say that he is asexué. In other words, he is not binary.
Genderless.
It's called not binary. I think today in the the woke community, this is called non-binary. But it's very interesting how the Kabbalah has given to Hashem these two attributes, give him a Zachus, a male, and a Nukva. Nukva is the female. And Kabbalah already started to give Hashem the attribute of male and female. To understand that concept, how it started off, it's the starting of that view is because, as I explained you have multiple layers, and each layer emanates light or shefa to the next lower level, and then the next lower level emanates light to the next lower level. Now, when I speak about emanate, there is an output, so he gives, and the next layer has to receive. Yeah, so it's always there is a layer, and then the layer gives light to the next layer. So there is an output, but that output has to also be able to, the next layer has to be able to receive the light from the previous, the higher layer that comes from the Ein Sof. And so there must be kind of a male to give and then a female to receive, like a plug in the plug in the electricity. And it's actually, it's one and the same. So it's like one plug that is both receiving and giving. Okay, like in the electricity, the electric plug. And so in the Kabbalah already, in the early Kabbalah, there was this concept of giving and receiving. And later on, it's specifically in the Arizal's Kabbalah, it became what we call the Abo and the Imo. It became the husband and the wife. And that's something which is very interesting. It was introduced by the Kabbalah, that there is a concept of a mother figure in God, in Hashem, that there is such a concept of a motherly figure, or as a woman's, a female figure of Hashem. And why is it interesting? Is because I found by chance, I found in Parshat Shoftim there is a posuk which says, and this is something which is really new to me. I haven't mentioned it to Rabbein Troy this morning. He also didn't know, but he added me something very interesting. This week's Parsha is Loisita lecho ashero kol eitz el mizbach Hashem elokecha asher ta'aseh lo. It says you're not allowed to plant for yourself an ashero kol eitz, and all the trees, which normally refers to the ashero, eitz el mizbach Hashem elokecha asher ta'aseh lo. You're not allowed to plant a tree in ashero. The word ashero is a avodah zorah of a tree. So the way that we learn it in school is the Knaanim used to, there was a nice tree, maybe a specific tree, we don't know, but they used to serve trees. And such a tree you're not allowed to plant in the Beis Hamikdash, next to the Mizbeach. Now, the Asher, what you have to understand also, which is also a bit of a mystery, until even the time of the Mishnah, there is still a shaila of a lulav shel Ashero. So it seems that the Mishnah, in the time that the Ashero is an avodah zorah, that either this Mishnah is purely theoretical, or this Mishnah can be practical as well. I think it's even in the Shulchan Aruch is also the mentioning of a lulav shel Ashero. So the Ashero is an avodah zorah that managed to survive many generations, even after the destruction of all Canaan, because it's a Canaani avodah zorah. But it managed to continue until the time even of the Mishnah, that there is still a shaila, what happens if you have a lulav that is from an ashero. So, and until even the Shulchan Aruch. So that's the ashero. The ashero is an avodah zorah that is basically a tree which the Canaanim used to serve, and then Klal Yisrael had it very difficult to get rid of it, as the Nevi'im later on complained that the Jews, they served the Ashero, they continue serving the Ashero. Somehow this Ashero had a very strong attraction, and I would like to discuss that. Why is the Ashero particularly so attractive for the Jewish people? So the Zohar asks a question. לא הסית לכו אשרו, you're not allowed to plant an אשרו, כל עץ מזבח השם אלוקיכו, next to the מזבח of השם, אשר תעשה לו. So he asked the question, you're not allowed to plant an אשרו next to the מזבח, that means that what? You're allowed to plant it outside of the Beis HaMikdash. It's not true. Why does the Torah tell me, don't plant it in Mizbeach Hashem, next to Mizbeach? I mean, what do you mean? We're not allowed to plant it at all. Whenever you see an Ashero, it says that you have to cut it. In the Borim, it says that actually in Parshat Noach, probably, he says, Abet Abdum Eskol HaMekoimos, Vasherem Tisrofun Boesh. You have to burn the Ashero. And then he says here, don't plant an Ashero next to my Mizbeach. So it's as if, you're allowed to plant it outside. It's a stir ba'etzem. So this is what the Zohar asked. Comes the Zohar, and it's a shame I don't have it. And I tried because there's a Zohar there behind, but they don't have the first chelek. I think the Siyata Dishmaya, the first Aleph, they don't have.
Maybe on internet.
No, yeah, I tried to look on internet and I couldn't find it. I already tried that the pages did not match somehow. The Zohar that I had with this Sefaria, I couldn't find it. But so comes the Zohar, and the Zohar says the following. He says that the Ashero, the word Ashero is a female name of Osher, of the name Osher. Like Ish and Isho, like Tzedek and Tzedoko, like Ofor and Aforo, like Odom and Adomo. So he brings down a few examples. I'm just making up a few new ones, but because I don't have it inside, but he says these are you have the male and the female version of Osher. And what he says is basically that Osher is the name of Hashem. It's the name of Hashem is Osher. He doesn't bring a proof of that, but that he actually, Rav Ehrentreu mentioned to me that in the Posuk that Ashur came out. How does it go? Somebody knows the Loshen? You know what I'm saying? No? Yeah, that it says in the Posuk that from the ground came Ashur. It's the next question. Ashur. I think it was 11.
Which parsha is this there?
No, the Zohar is not on. It's on Bereshis, but I have it. My Zohar, it is on Parshat Shoftim. But that it came out. Ashur came out. Sorry, I checked it. I thought I will remember 11. Ele told the shame. Is Ashur was one of the names of the. Anyway, so Ashur, he says, is the name of an Avodah Zorah. That the Kubolim say that Ashur, that came out of the ground, is the name of an Avodah Zorah. But basically, Osher, Aleph Shin Reish, which is from Oisher, is also a name of Hashem, says the Zohar. And basically, where I found it is when we say Eke Asher Eke. The name of Hashem is Eke Asher Eke. So the word Asher is also part of the names of Hashem.
Ashur is mentioned in the
Yeah, Ashur. It may be in
Pasuk Yudat, when we speak about the Nahorois, or Kidmas Ashur.
No.
The Nahar Shlishi, Kidmas Ashur.
And then, but maybe in Bereshit, yeah. And what does it say before that? There's another one that came out, and from there came out Ashur. No, there is an expression which is an expression of an Ashur. Oh, I saw it. I just I'm busy with so many things. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, so Osher is the name of Hashem, and Ashero is the female form of Osher. And Osher, the Zohar says, is from Ashurani, from Osher, from happiness. So it's a very interesting concept that he says that basically the Ashero represents the female part of God. It represents the wife part from God, and that is why in the Novi he always complains about the Jews bringing korbanos to the Ashero Ubal. They typically go together. I'm looking to Moshe, but it brings down. I saw it that Ashero Ubal. It comes in a posture where they both are being part of the avodah zarah that the Jews used to serve. Is the Ashero and the Baal. Ashero is the wife, and Baal means the husband, right? The name Baal is the husband from Ashero, which is the wife. This is the Zohar continues further, and he says that typically where the people that used to serve the sun were serving Baal, and the nations that were serving the moon were serving the Ashero. So you see here again, the sun and the moon. The sun is the male because he gives, and the moon is the female because she receives and she gives back to us. And so the Oreach, yeah. So the moon is the Ashero. So that's what the Zohar explains. So the question then is, why don't we call Hashem Ashero? Then we should kind of have also part. So he says that since the Goyim abused it and they made it into an avodah zarah, so we don't use it anymore. But the name of Hashem, the female part of Hashem, is called Ashero. And what Hashem says is, instead of serving me, the Ashero from me, you should the Mizbeach. You should you should come and make the avodah on the Mizbeach, because instead of the Ashero, we have received the Shechino. So the Shechino is the female part of Hashem that was not abused by the avodah zarah. So that name, the Shechino, which Chazal has given us, enables us to speak about the female part of Hashem. And the Shechino is the female part of Hashem that got, if you want, disconnected from the Kudsho Brichu, as we shall see. And this is what when we speak about Hashem, we tend to speak about the Shechino. Okay? So, yeah.
C'est quoi que la féminité que tu parles?
Right. So it's basically the part that protection, the mother figure from Hashem, that the way that he protects us is through his femininity, is the Shechina. Why am I saying that? Because we don't have the word Shechino normally in the davening. It comes once beis hashchino, beis shchinta, we say in Oboletzien, but that's in the L'Shem Yichud, that's the Arizal. But we don't find in the Siddur, in the Anshe Knesset Agdoilo, in all our Siddur, we don't find, but we do find it in two places. In the Piyutim, we find a lot. Yeah, okay, as a verb. Yeah. But we never find the Shechina as a separate entity in the davening. There is, what we say is that Tachas Kanfei HaShechino. So when a person becomes, we say, is Tachas Kanfei HaShechino, so the Shechina has wings, because the wings is a motherly protective. She takes it under her wings. Lo sikach ho'e malabonim is also when you go on to take the little chicks of a bird, then you lo sikach ho'e malabonim. Why? Because the mother will protect her with the wings. Okay, so the mother will protect her. Tachas kanfei hashchino. and that's something which is a motherly figure. So the bird, the mother bird, uses her wings to protect her children. That's why is the loisas elosikachorim alabonim. And then you also have the opposite, which is interesting. You have tachas kanfei ashchina, and then in the Yizkor, those who say the Yizkor are those who go to the remembrance, the Kel Mole Rachamim. Then what do we say by the Kel Mole Rachamim? We say no tachas kanfei ashchina. Or tachas kanfei ashchina. But there we say also al kanfei ashchina. 1 second. Mole Rachamim. The one by the Yizkor, maybe it's a different one. In you should not.
I never
No, Baruch Hashem.
my sons speak.
What?
Because they were just curious what's going on.
No, there's nothing. We always think that there is. If the El Mole Rachamim, somebody can find it. Ah, salut.
Le truc de Asherah.
Ouais. Eretz Ashur. Ouais, le mot Ashur, ça je sais. Mais il y a
c'est Al-Kanfei Ashchina.
Al-Kanfei Ashchina, hein? Ouais. 315. Ouais. Ken Mole Rachamim, Shoy Mamre, Mamse Nucho Nochoino, Al-Kanfei Ashchina. There's Tachas Kanfei Ashchina and Al-Kanfei Ashchina. It's a very interesting concept that the Shchina has knofayim, has wings, because the wings is the protective. It says Al Kanfei Ashchina. Normally, it refers to probably the eagle. That Chazal teaching us that the eagle puts her children on top of her wings and not under her wings to protect from attacks from the bottom. So you see here, the wings are a protection. We also see the wings is in the Kruvim. The Kruvim also have wings. This is called the Shechina. The Shechina is here to protect us, not to punish us. The Shechina never punishes. The Shechina is something that if we are not okay, then he goes away. The Shechina goes away, she goes away, but she is here to kind of to protect us. That's the Tachas Kanfei Ashchina or Al Kanfei Ashchina. The difference between those two is not clear to me, but that's something which I wanted to mention, because this concept of male and female as a father and king, but also as a judge, etc., and the female which is here purely to protect us, to be with us, that misses a child, and that's why it's the Shechina that goes with us and is following us continuously, because she cannot let go of her children. And that's a little bit the concept that has been introduced. Because the Goyim, what they did is they separated those two, and they served each one separately. That became Avodah Zorah. Our purpose is that we should be meyachet, the Kutchubrichu and the Shchinte, is to say that the Kutchubrichu and the Shchinte is one, and that is, and to bring them back together with our mitzvahs. That is our mitzvah, our purpose that we have to do for the purpose of all the mitzvahs. That's why we say the Shem Yichud, Kutchubrichu or Shechinte. So the Shchinte is really the Ashero, the original Ashero that got turned into the Shechina. There is a yeah. That's why I guess that this is where the Kabbalists have taken most of the inspiration is from that element. But it is in the Partsufim. We don't find it directly in but these are the Rizal.
There's certain place we say things on people that we see how
yeah. I don't know.
When you say it in one way, that's
these are the Partsufim. There is a godly way that he presents himself, either as a father or as a mother or both. the
They see the Israelites, the Israelites, in their people.
no.
I think
No.
it's over.
Ah, it's over there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, c'est moderne.
Okay. Yeah. Ouais. That's right.
C'est pas des nouveaux,
Ouais.
c'est pas des nouveaux concepts. C'est des vieilles choses qu'il a,
Non.
des vieilles choses qu'il a remis au.
Oh. Ouais. Non, alors normalement on dit qu'il a eu roi Hakosh. La Gilo Elio. Ok, ok.
Non, c'est tellement de nouveaux concepts.
Mais,
Comme,
Ouais.
pas le dire.
Mais même Lévinas, même. Ouais.
C'est tellement nouveau, et ça ressemble tellement à une religion que ça fait peur.
Ça fait peur. Mais laisse-moi terminer alors, laisse-moi terminer, parce que le fait qu'on l'a accepté, ça a été quelque chose qui a été imprimé, ça veut dire que c'est un siat et d'ishmael que le bon Dieu est d'accord. Parce que sinon, on ne aurait pas été accepté par la majorité du peuple juif. Donc ça, c'est un peu Lévinas dit ça tout le temps. Le fait que nous, kiblo vekimu, ça veut dire que quand nous on accepte ici en bas, en haut, ils acceptent aussi. Donc, le fait que nous, on a accepté la Rizal comme étant, parce que tout notre governance est basé sur la Rizal. Et donc, la Rizal a repris. Et donc, le fait que nous, on a accepté, c'est qu'il y a un certain de chemin, c'est qu'en haut aussi, ils ont accepté. Ça, c'est un peu, je sais que...
Et cette ressemblance.
Non, parce que c'est les autres religions qui nous...
On cherche
Ouais.
choses.
Mais ce sont les...
De nourrir notre imaginaire parce que c'est tout
Ouais.
par d'autres.
Non, non.
Avec
Voilà.
Marie,
Je veux dire, le christianisme qui a aussi une mère, Maria, le mère et le fils, c'est ce qu'il veut dire.
La Marie ne fait pas partie
De la Trinité, non. Non. Non, il a un point. Marie, Myriam, comment elle s'appelait? Ouais, c'est une autre question, mais bon, ça fait partie de la Trinité. C'est le Père, le Fils et le Saint-Esprit.
Et je ne veux pas rentrer dans ça, c'est pas. Il y a un arbleuil que tu veux.
Je sais, je comprends, je comprends.
Mais ce n'est pas parce que nous, on a dans notre imaginaire un désir, parce qu'on manque de chaleur, peut-être parce qu'on a un problème psychologique aussi. Il faut aller chercher, et puis quand on ne trouve pas ça, alors il y a quelqu'un de tout, je ne sais pas si je peux dire ce que je dis, quelque chose dans les temps modernes déjà,
Non.
qui vient et qui nous dit, oui, tu as un visage d'une mère, et alors ça, c'était jamais. Je veux dire, si le Rambam aurait entendu ça, il serait très fâché.
Ouais, le Rambam serait fâché.
Ce qu'on a dit au début, c'est que Dieu n'a pas de sexe, donc pourquoi il serait plus mâle que femelle? Donc s'il a un côté mâle, il a aussi le côté femelle, parce qu'il est le Ensevé, celui qui a créé tout.
J'aime bien ce que Lionel dit, parce qu'en fait, si tu dis que Dieu est asexuel, donc non binaire, ça veut dire que, et on dit qu'il est un Meller et que c'est un Av, alors pourquoi, en fait, c'est pas vrai, tu dis qu'il est un Av, donc ça veut dire qu'il doit aussi avoir un M pour que ça compense ça devient que ce n'est pas un et pas l'autre, parce que si c'est un et pas l'autre, alors il est mâle, par définition. Ça veut dire que tu dois lui donner qu'il a les deux. Et alors c'est logique qu'il faut donner la féminité aussi à Dieu. Il faut l'attribuer. Et ça je sors un peu, I go out a little bit from the discussion. There is you will see, I mean, you all got married, your parents, or sometimes by the Hasidische, by the Haredi, it says the two fathers that take the Chosen and the two mothers that take the color. And in this Zohar, which explains that, it continues a little bit further, and there he says explicitly the parents. They know that the Zohar, and this is the Zohar. So when you will find that Zohar in Bereshis, Daf Mentes, I'm not sure, I don't know which Daf there, or Medalov, that you will find there, this is the Zohar that is mentioned a lot, that parents should go with the color interference. What? Interference should be the parents, the father and the mother.
I think our father said that because I
Yeah.
the last few years it became more fashionable that the parents.
Parents, yeah. I did one son like that and one son like that.
Our father said that they are Yeah. The original meaning is the parent.
The parent.
Yeah.
And then Rabbein Troy, he said that apparently, he said, yes, there is a Zoya, but there is also the element of the Chut HaMeshulash, the Trinity, the triangle, the Chut HaMeshulash, that the male comes and then comes the female. So the Chut HaMeshulash,
that's the critique that he
yeah. But it's the Chut HaMeshulash, it's the element of, and that's why he said that the minig today in the Haredi world is the parent, the fathers that bring the male, the chosen, and the mothers that bring the color. But originally, the Zohar clearly says that it is the parents of the color should bring the color to the chosen's house. It doesn't speak about the chosen himself. That the fact that we go with the chosen, that I think is later. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't mention that. It's the idea that the color goes out from her parents' house, and goes into the house of the chosen. Anyway, it's good to know. It's good to know that we also see so basically the idea that the son represents according to the Zohar, the male, and therefore the Baal, the husband, and the moon, the Yoreach, represents the female, and therefore the Ashero. That's what the Zohar explains. It's a very interesting concept because in Chazal, there is a steer in that posuk. It says Shneam Oires HaGedolim, the two big lights, and then it says that there is a big one and a small one. And so Chazal say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually, because it says Shneim Oires HaGedolim, and then it's Amor HaGodel and Amor HaKoten. Where is the Moir HaGodel and HaKoten? He just started with saying that the two of them are Gedolim. So the Chazal explained that he made them smaller. And what does he mean he made them smaller? So the Kabbalah explains that the Tiferes, which is the male, and the Malchus, Shechina, which is the female, used to be at the same level. So the Tiferes and the Malchus were on the same level, one next to another. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided to bring it down because he needed somebody to be in the world. And so he broke it down, and he broke this link, and he disconnected it and put it mamish at the bottom. And so the Tiferes, the male, is disconnected from the female. And this is the Moires HaGodol and the Moir HaKoton. It is the female, which is the moon. So the Shechina is indeed the moon, and it is the female. I always, when I speak to women about feminism, I tell them that if that's true, that since Chazal in the Novi says that the moon will be, how do you call it, no? What? Ischatshus Alevone will be back as this original. Yeah, I know. That when you punish somebody, and then when you see that he is not at fault, you will give him back the deserved place that he deserves, basically. And it will rehabilitate the Levon. There you go. Thank you. The rehabilitation of the Levona means that also the women, then for the moment, the women have a lower status. They are more dependent on their husbands. But in Yosef Mashiach, they will have the same. They will be at the same level as the husband. That's what my chiddush when I'm speaking. But that's the concept. Now, why is it also interesting? Because last week we spoke about that there is a steer in the posuk that in Perek Aleph, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu created man, Zochor and Nekeva, Boro Oiso Zochor Nekeva Boro Oiso, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created both male and female. And in Perek Beis, the story is that he first created male and then he created female. And so Chazal explained that originally man was created male and female at the same time. He was one, and then he had to make an operation and split them up. And I told you at the time, yeah, we don't have to take literally. But according to what we just explained now, it's very nice, because that's the whole concept that that there is the male and the female. We have the Tselem Elokim. In other words, we were originally created male and female together, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. He had male and female, and then he separated the female and he put it disconnected a little bit. Disconnected the female from the structure, and the Malchus is disconnected from the other 9 spheroids. And that is the same what the story that we tell about humans is basically retelling what HaKadosh Baruch Hu did to himself as well. Okay, so he was originally male and female, and then he kind of disconnected it a little bit. But it is our role is to bring them back together, and they should be actually one. You can continue with that idea. Is also that the heaven, the Shomayim and the Adomo, that the Shomayim is the male and the Adomo, again, Adomo, Ashero, Isho, with the hay at the end, is the female. The Adomo is the female, and the Adomo receives the rain from the Shomayim, and from this comes out the fruits. That is, we see it in the eights hadars and eights. We see that the fruit of a tree as being on a high level. We ate Pore Prio 8 versus Pore Prio Adomo, but the Prio 8 is very holy, and the rain that falls on the trees is called Revia. In Chazal, they call it the Revio. Reish Beis Ayin is normally intercourse, is sexual intercourse, but typically between 2 things which are not compatible. Yeah, it's a nirba, Revea, and a nirva, behemoth that has been nirba'd by humans. When 2 elements are living together, but it's not compatible, it's called the Revia. So when the Shomayim, which is transcendent, rains on the earth and then goes up into the tree, which the tree can represent the genitals of the world, and therefore from there comes out the fruits, that's called the Revia. And that is why the 8th, Prio 8, is a very high level, that originally human beings, we call 8 Sagan Ochol Toichal, it should only eat from the 8th, the Prio 8, and not from the Prio Adomo, and he has to eat the Prio Adomo as a Klole. But originally it was more from the Prio 8. So you can see the 8s and the humans as kind of the interface between the Shomayim and the Oretz. Don't know if you see what I'm saying. That is why we're not allowed to destroy a Prio 8, because the Odom 8s are so there. We are similar, because we both are the tree of is connecting the Shomayim and the Adomo. So you see here, the Odom and Adomo, there is a lot of connection that you can do, and actually the Zohar does it. Unfortunately, I didn't bring it with, so I can't read it inside, so I try to give it over to you. It's a very interesting concept, and if it can help, why not? You see here the protective element of the Shechina, that is the Kanfei Shechina, which protects us, and we can find refuge in the Shechina rather than in Kudsho B'richu on himself. The second part, I would like to ask a question. It says in the Pasuk that HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that the humans are bad, and therefore he regrets and he wants to destroy them. And then when he destroys them, he says that because the men are bad, I'm not going to destroy them anymore. So there's a stira here. There's a stira. Men are bad, so he wants to destroy them. And then he says, because men are bad, I'm not going to destroy them. So there's nothing that changed between before the Mabul and after the Mabul. The children of Noach will still be bad, right? That's what he says. After the Noach, he says that still, therefore, he's not going to destroy them. So he has to make up his mind. Is the man bad and therefore he wants to destroy? Or is the man not bad and he's not going to destroy? But not saying both. Men are bad and therefore I want to destroy them. And then he says, men are bad and therefore I will not destroy them. Yeah? So if Yetzer Lev Odom Ra Min Uro, so I mean, in other words, he didn't change anything, right? Man did not change. On one hand, he destroyed them, and then he did not destroy them. So this is what Manitou actually asked that question. And basically,
He didn't say that he won't destroy them anymore after the
No, I will never destroy them anymore, completely. Before the Mabul, he did.
Maybe something
No, Kasher Osisi, maybe something else. Yeah, okay, but the individual cities, Zdoim, he did destroy, but he will not make. But nothing changed. Nothing changed. What? Ouais, mais pourquoi non nous dire que c'est le déluge? Je veux dire que généralement, j'accepte le mal de l'être humain. S'il accepte le mal. Kasher aussi. Mais l'être humain non plus. L'humanité va tout en rester.
Oui, donc en fait, ça veut dire
tout.
Kolbosso.
Mais individuellement, bien. Mais qu'est-ce qui a changé? En fait, Yetzer Lev Odom Ra Menorov, ça c'était avant et après.
Entre les deux, il n'a pas fait la promesse.
Non, il n'a pas fait la promesse. Non. Il dit l'être humain est mauvais et c'est pour ça que Vayinuchem Hashem qui osa es Odom Boretz, Vayitza se libo et il dit Bechol Yetzer Mashu es libo Rak Rak Kol Hayom. Ouais. C'est ce qu'il dit après aussi. Ouais, il dit après ça aussi. Yetzer Lev Odom Ra Menorov. Donc rien n'a changé. D'une part, il a décidé de détruire, et là, il a décidé de ne pas détruire. Au contraire, il a même dit, je vous promets que je ne vais pas détruire. Qu'est-ce qui a changé entre les deux? Il n'y a rien qui a changé. Les données sont restées les mêmes, mais l'équation a changé. Il a rien détruit, ouais. Bon.
Il y a eu un Maboul.
Alors,
le Maboul, oui.
Alors, je pense.
Il va pas recommencer.
Comment? Il ne va plus faire. Mais quel est le. Il n'y a rien qui a changé. L'être humain était mauvais avant le Maboul est mauvais après le Maboul. Et après le Maboul, il a promis, je ne vais plus le détruire. Mais alors, comment?
Non,
alors, c'est une expérimentation. Ouais, mais c'est dommage. On a quand même des centaines de milliers d'expérimentations à foirer et malheureusement plein. Mais des milliers de gens sont morts et des animaux et tout ça pour rien du tout, pour finalement rester avec la même situation qu'avant. Donc c'est un peu tragique comme message. On s'en fout, voilà, de toute façon, parce qu'il ne va pas le faire. Ouais. Mais bon, il faut espérer qu'on aura des air conditionnés, quoi. On aura assez d'énergie pour l'air conditionné.
S'éloigne. Ça veut dire que c'est pas proche.
Oh, très bien.
C'est pas qu'il comprend qu'il c'est un sort de gouleux qui commence.
Ouais.
Un but du gouleux.
Très bien. Très bien. C'est exactement ce que Manitou dit. En fait, au début, le monde était connecté avec l'acte humain et aussi les animaux, quoi. C'était, si l'être humain se comportait comme il fallait, alors le monde se comportait là. Domo, qui est notre mère, hein, c'est aussi, j'ai expliqué que la Domo, c'est le femelle, c'est pas que les flamands, les goïms, ils appellent Moudre Arde, la terre, c'est la mère, ok? Et le Shemaim, c'est le père. Et en fait, ce sont les deux, et c'est les deux qui nous ont donné la vie. Et étant donné que ça a été connecté direct, il y avait une connexion directe. Quand l'être humain était correct, alors la terre donnait et voulait donner. Et quand l'être humain n'était pas correct, alors ça a créé des problèmes dans la terre. Et le bon Dieu a vu que ça n'a pas marché. Et donc, ce qu'il a fait, il a en fait déconnecté ce lien. En fait, il a dit, non, je vais déconnecter. L'acte humain ne va plus être, c'est-à-dire que la terre ne va plus être dépendante de l'acte humain. La clole, comment on dit le posso? La clole ne va plus être, je ne vais plus rendre. Il a dit aussi que je ne vais plus faire une clole sur la terre à cause de l'être humain. En tout cas, c'est quelque chose qui va être déconnecté. Et pour faire cette déconnexion, ça veut dire. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, very good. Very good. So I thought about this a few days now. I'm struggling with that question. But I have two answers. let me come back. Remind me if I don't come back to that point. So we have here a disconnection, a change, a complete change. Now to change that, there is also the need. Everything has to change. So kind of the world has to come back to the tohu voyu in order to be able to start a new world order. And how does the tohu voyu come back? Everything that Hashem did in the first 3 days in the Mabul got destroyed. Hashem separated the waters from the top and the waters from the bottom. On the Mabul, Hashem made the Arubas Hashemayim, opened up the Arubas Hashemayim, and it became one. The Abosho from the water, the Abosho got under the water, and there was also Chazal teach us that there was no day and night. There was darkness the whole time. So the separation from light and darkness got stopped. In other words, Hashem brought back the world to the level of tohu voyu, and therefore now he started to do it again. So then he can change the world order. So the disconnection had to go through a tohu voyu. So that's how I think Manitou wants to explain that concept, that the world will not be dependent on the act of humans. And then you ask a very good question: what about Eretz Yisrael? So either it is only Eretz Yisrael, and this is the Mireshis Hashono as Achis Hashono, that Hashem will look at us, and the land is very much dependent on the act of the Jews. So the land depends on the act of the Jews, and that's a little island where this is still true. That's one explanation. But the other explanation that I had is that in Eretz Yisrael, anyway, the Adomo, there is not a lot of rivers. There's only the Yarden, but it does not give a lot of water. That in Eretz Yisrael, you're dependent on rain. And it means, in other words, that the Adomo himself, he will not punish anymore the people, but we are still dependent on Shemayim, on the rain. And that's possible that Hashem can say, I'll stop raining or I'll give rain. When he says, V'adomo lo'yiten es yevulo, it can be a result of the Geshem. That I will not give. So it could be that everything depends on the rain. In other words, in Eretz Yisrael, we're dependent on rain and not on irrigation from the rivers. What? Yeah, but originally that's we know today. But originally we don't know where it comes from, and but in any case, that it comes from the rain, and therefore the rain Hashem can stop or give it on the wrong times and on the wrong places, as we discussed. And so there we are still dependent. But it's a good question. Yeah. Ouais. Ouais. Ouais.
De vouloir
Ouais.
Donc, il n'y a aucune.
Ouais. Ibn Ezra dit que Yaakov Avinu a dit à Roch le Léo, on monte vers Canaan, il était avec des ours, les filles avec des ours. Avec des ours. Là-bas aussi, quand on monte dans Eretz Yisrael, là-bas tu ne peux pas avoir d'avec des ours. C'est-à-dire que là-bas, la terre, elle demande une rigueur spéciale, parce que sinon ça ne fonctionne pas, sinon elle vous rejette. C'est ça qui aurait extrême. Il y a quelque chose qui fait que la terre exige de l'être humain, elle ne supporte pas de l'injustice et d'avoir des ours, etc. J'ai expliqué une fois qu'avec des ours, la vie, ce n'est pas parce que le bon Dieu est nécessairement jaloux, mais c'est parce que la vie des jours amène vers de barbarisme. La vie des jours, c'est quoi? Ça aussi, ouais.
fait.
Et ne pas amener, ça c'est une façon d'expliquer qu'est-ce que tu amènes un dieu de Moyof dans Eretz Yisraël. Chaque dieu a sa géographie. Ça c'est une explication. Et une autre explication, c'est que la vie de jour en elle-même amène vers le barbarisme. Et c'est clair, c'est que quand jamais dans la Torah, les peuples ont été punis à cause de la vie du jour. C'était tout le temps à cause de Homo, à cause des choses qui sont, typiquement, ce sont de l'injustice sociale, plutôt que la vie du jour. Ninive, c'était pas la vie du jour, c'était l'injustice qui se fait. Donc, c'est un peu deux explications de l'exigence. Il y a encore un autre point. Another point that I would like to make is it says Elohim is Halech Noach, and by Avrom it says Lifnei Elohim. By Avrom it says it's Halech Lefonai Be'ei Yetomim. So Hashem asked to Avrom Avinu is actually goes in front of Hashem, and Noach didn't go in front of Hashem, but he went with Hashem. And so the idea behind that is that Noach did everything that Hashem told him to do. In other words, he followed as a good soldier, just followed what Hashem told him to do. Avrom Avinu went even against Hashem. He negotiated, he not negotiated, he debated Hashem. Said to him, why and who and why and no. He started to say to Hashem, no. In other words, he put himself to the level of Lifnei Hashem. So he went first. He said, no, stop. 1 second. Why? And let's, you know what I'm saying? So, for the others. Yeah. That's exactly the point. Yeah. So Noach was more, whatever you decide, I'll do. And Avram was more of a partner with Hashem, equal partner. If you tell me that I'm an equal partner, then I want to give my own opinion also. Why? I don't find this is justice, etc. So this whole idea, that is why it's called. Yeah, exactly. Why? Because Avram already understood the power that we humans have compared to God. So it gives. Noach says Hashem is not to touch. Whatever he says is holy and not to touch. And Avram actually brings down Hashem and brings the humans up. And says, no, we have a relationship upon him, and I can ask Hashem. And I can ask him, why did he do that? And you know what I'm saying? There is, actually, normally you would assume that, no, Avram was even higher, given even a bigger place, but it's the opposite. Avram actually brings down and makes Hashem more human and with a personality, and that can be convinced to change his mind. And it wants to be convinced to change his mind. It wants to be challenged. This is the word challenge. That's the word I was looking. Avram challenged God. Yeah. And that's something which is an interesting concept. For the Rebbeinu Shlomi, it was much more powerful at Avram than Noach. Noach is completely an evet to his Odoim. He does what Hashem tells him to do. So he's tzaddik, because nobody else did, not even that. But actually, Avram Avinu he discovered, he gave to Hashem a personality that you can discuss with, you can challenge, you can ask to change his mind, you can question him. That's something which makes God much more human and brings down God amidst us. That's why you can love God. Otherwise, you can't love that's why I already explained you. You can only love a personality, but you can't love a musag or an odoin that forces you and that you have to be like an od. That's Islam. The Islam is really Noach religion. It is Islam. Islam is the submissiveness. Whatever God says is good, and that you cannot change. They believe they have a problem with with the bechira from the human. And this is a subject I want to speak by the ladies a little bit. They should also leak also, but I think already I'm not going to repeat it, but the beautiful comment. And then the last bit I would like to give as an introduction to next week's Parsha. There is in the end of this week's Parsha, there is the Yikach Terach, Avram Benoi Vesloit Ben Horon, Ben Benoi Vestorai Kalosoi, Eshes Avram Benoi Veetz Itom Beuch Kaltim, Lolechas Arto Canaan, Vayevoyu Ad Horon, Vayeshu Sham. Yeah. They went to Lolechas Arto Canaan. Suddenly we see Terach going to Eretz Yisrael, to Eretz Canaan. There is nothing in the Posuk that points on the reason why did Terach go to Eretz Canaan. Why? Suddenly he decides to go to Eretz Canaan. And then he doesn't go. He dies there. And then Hashem says to Avram, Lech lecho me'artzu milatu be'tovicho. I don't tonight as if it's a big thing to go. I mean, his father wanted to go already. It's not like... so why did Terach want to go to Eretz Canaan? And this is something which I would like to, just as an introduction, we always, the Goyim are saying on us, and you see it on YouTube, that, yeah, Hashem gave you, but it's not true. You took it away from the Knaanim. They always mention the Knaani, the Knaan. You took it away from the Knaanim. And like, what?
Can be the Palestinians.
Maybe the Knaanim are the descendants of the Palestinians are the descendants of the Knaanim. And then they want it back. So, and so Manitzu says something very nice. He says that why did Terach go up to Eretz Canaan? It's because he understood. He didn't go. Why would he leave towards Eretz Canaan? He stopped in Horon. Yeah. So I would like to explain you a little bit, if I have time, is the Rav Kook point of view, that whenever there is a feeling that there is a Yeshua, when there is a Goul, when we are going to go, and then there is this area, a feeling we have to prepare already. You understand? When we are coming closer to Goul, Hashem has created in the world to all the Jews to have a feeling of wanting to go back to Eretz Yisrael. And since the Haredi Rabbonim, like the Munkach and the Satmar, says that this is a terrible thing, it's a negative thing. So for a lot of Jews that wanted to go up, it felt that this drive was too strong for them. So what they did is they had to remove their religion and go up without it. Okay, so the whole what? Sorry. Right. So whenever there is a time of the Geula, before that already starts a feeling of Hashem prepares the terrain, and already people are starting to. Comment? Assalte de Geula. Ça veut dire que l'assalte de Geula, ouais. The world has already starting that the Jews wanting to go up to Eretz Yisrael. And this is the Shofar Cotton, not the Shofar Godel. It's the Shofar Cotton. It's anti-Semitism, pogroms, economic, whatever it is. But there is a drive that wanted to go, and it comes closer to the Gula. And so there is this drive that we can't explain. And he wants to explain why is it the non-religious that went a lot up in Eretz Yisrael, was more successful by the non-religious, is because the religious stopped it. The Munkach and the Satmar or whatever, they stopped it. They said it's wrong and it's bad and it's the Sotten, and not to go up. And so the only way that they can go up is to say, okay, but in that case, I give up my religion and then I can go and I can follow my heart. So the same idea here as well. When Avram and HaKadosh Baruch Hu decide that this is now the time to create my nation in Eretz Yisrael through Avram and through the Ivrim, Terach already felt it as well. But like history, they stopped in Antwerp, in the state in Antwerp. Some of them wanted to go, geblieben, do problem. And they stopped. What? Sorry? And they went into diamonds, and then they forgot about the Zionistic feeling. But the idea is that the land of Canaan used to be a land of Ivrim. Everybody knew at the time that the Eretz to Ivrim was Eretz Canaan. So the Eretz Canaan used to be the Eretz to Ivrim. And the rai that he brings is, of course, there is the posuk. What? Yeah, later on. But originally, the Ivrim was a people that was persecuted. The Ivrim,
in the desert?
Yeah, in Mesopotamia, they find Hebrews remnants in all around the place. So it seems that there was a nomadic Golus nation. And therefore, when it says Baknani, Oz Bo'oret means that at that time they were in the land, because before that it was the Ivrim that used to be in that land.
Which Ivrim?
Oh, so all the Ivrim, all the children of Ivrim. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah. Ouais. On arrête l'histoire. On arrête l'histoire déjà. Ouais. Ouais.
Qui était ivri avant Rome? À Rome, c'est ivri parce que
non, Terach est aussi un ivri.
Oui.
Et Lloyd est aussi un ivri. Et alors, effectivement, ils ont reçu la terre à Moïni-Moyo. Et c'était dans la terre sainte. C'était dans la terre sainte. Tu vois que les trois peuples. Comment?
Un séjour, un droit, mais c'était pas des.
Ouais.
C'était pas des autochtones.
C'est ça, les Canaanites. Les Canaanites, non, ils ont rejeté les Ivrim probablement par force. Ou les Ivrim sont partis parce que par nous, ailleurs, on en est parti. Mais je vais vous expliquer comment un autre raï très important. Avant, on va voir le miracle. Et Gunoïv Gonafti, mais Eretz Ivrim. Dit Yosef dit à Paroy que Gunoïv Gonafti, mais Eretz Ivrim. Maintenant, maintenant il faut réfléchir à si Eretz Ivrim n'était pas connu dans le monde comme être Eretz Kenan, alors pour moi, Yosef parle à Paroy en disant j'ai été kidnappé de Eretz Ivrim. Ça veut dire que Paroy savait ce qu'elle est Eretz Ivrim. Ça s'appelle Eretz Kenan. Qu'est-ce que tu m'amènes le mot Eretz Ivrim? Pourquoi Paroy devrait comprendre ce que c'est Eretz Ivrim? Elomai, Eretz Ivrim était connu internationalement. Les gens savaient que Eretz Kenan, ça s'appelait Eretz Ivrim. C'est pour ça que Yosef a pu dire à Paroy, et que Paroy n'a pas demandé Eretz comment? Il n'a pas demandé. Non, ouais, mais ça s'appelait, il y avait tellement une petite famille là-bas. C'était le peuple, ça s'appelait Eretz Kenan. Et là-bas, il y avait une petite famille, Abraham, Yitzhak, Yankov avec ses quelques enfants. Mais ce n'était pas un pays. Le pays national était Eretz Kenan.
Et les Canaanites.
Comment? C'est un monde des Canaanites, mais avec une minorité minuscule. Il y avait peut-être 20 personnes hébreux dans la terre. Donc, ce n'est pas s'appeler Eretz Ivrim. Donc, le fait qu'ils ont appelé ça Eretz Ivrim, c'est que c'était originellement Eretz Ivrim. Chacun savait que Eretz Kenan était Eretz Ivrim, mais que le Cananim ont repris. Et donc, c'est pour ça que c'est écrit à Canani Oz Bo'oret. Et c'est pour ça que notre terre n'est pas une terre qu'on a pris des Canaan, on l'a repris des Canaan. Les Cananim nous ont volé et nous, on les a repris. C'est pour ça que Terach voulait monter parce qu'il s'est dit, après la persécution, il s'est dit, ça c'est le choice of Cotton, il a appelé et qu'il a dit, écoute, c'est fini, on va monter de nouveau. Il a voulu faire Aliyah et puis il est resté coincé en envers, il est resté coincé dans le diamant. Et Bonche m'a dit, maintenant, Avrom, toi, je veux la famille. Ouais. Originellement, depuis quelques générations, ils étaient déjà plus, quelques générations qui n'étaient plus comme nous aujourd'hui. Il y a déjà un gap. Je ne sais pas combien de temps les Ivrim étaient là-bas, mais c'était la terre des Ivrim. L'Hébreu, c'était une terre d'Hébreux que les Cananim ont repris et que maintenant, nous, on les a repris des Cananim. En fait, c'est ça.
Alors, comment, c'est quoi les
miracles?
Non,
mais c'est ça que nous, on doit répondre. C'est pour ça que Rashi, au début, le premier Rashi de la Torah explique pourquoi la Torah explique toute cette histoire-là. Parce que peut-être un jour, pas, on ne sait pas commencer directement avec les Taryag Mitzvot. Il faut raconter toute l'histoire. Alors, Rachid dit peut-être un jour, les Goïms vont nous dire qu'on a volé la terre des Knanim. Et alors, Rachid dit que là, on la raconte, le bon Dieu a créé la terre et lui nous a donné. Mais ça n'avait été que cette réponse. Aujourd'hui, je ne pense pas que Netanyahou est allé avec le Chumash et il a dit ça n'a pas marché. Ce n'est pas une bonne réponse. Finalement, ça n'aide pas. On voit qu'aujourd'hui, personne ne va dire aux Arabes, sorry, mais regarde, c'est à nous. On devrait le dire. Mais pour les Arabes, ça n'a pas aidé. Et par contre, si tu peux prouver que c'était notre terre originellement et qu'on n'a pas pris des Knani, alors tu peux commencer à avoir une histoire. Et c'est ça, en fait, c'est que. Mais je sais, mais en tout cas, on a au moins. La vérité est que toi-même. Toi-même.
On aurait pu la faire un pays. Pas tourner autour du pot.
On
a rejeté, on a jeté des campagnes. Elle me l'a donné.
Ouais, ok.
Pas tourner autour du pot.
Parce que c'est un peu. Cette histoire que je viens de raconter rend l'histoire un peu plus humaniste. Parce que sinon, on a quand même dit détruire ce peuple pour que nous, on le reçoive de Dieu. Et là, on dit non, on ne les a pas détruits. En fait, eux nous ont jetés de cette terre-là. Donc, Dieu a réhabilité les peuples hébreux, il les a remis dans la terre originelle. Parce que c'était concrètement, les Knanim étaient là-bas. Il faut qu'on sache que c'était des Knanim étaient dans la terre. C'est toute l'histoire qu'on va attendre, on devra attendre. Le bon Shem dit, on va de toute façon attendre les Knanim. Pas encore prêt, vous n'êtes pas encore prêt de monter la terre parce que les Knanim, leur avère n'est pas encore assez grand. C'est-à-dire qu'apparemment, ils ont encore un peu le droit de rester. Il y a un droit de séjour que les Knanim ont dû rester. C'est ça que le bon Dieu explique un peu pourquoi ça a pris tellement de temps pour qu'on le reprenne. Hein? Le Meraglim, c'était une question.
Ouais,
c'est quoi?
On voit que le Meraglim,
ouais.
Parce qu'en Meraglim, ça veut dire qu'il y avait des gens là-bas. Il y avait un peuple là.
Ouais. J'étais là-bas, mais nous, on était avant. Les Hébreux étaient avant. Et
comment c'est possible aussi? Comment on pouvait être là avant?
Non, mais je parle de Eber. Mais notre notre ancêtre Eber. Eber, c'est encore, je parle de 5 générations avant. Eber, je sais pas, 5-6 générations avant. Comment? Non, Abraham était déjà des générations après, il n'a même pas connu Eretz Yisraël. Il n'a même pas connu Eretz Canaan avant ça. Il faisait le tour de la Mésopotamie et je ne sais pas où, le Turquie, la Syrie, le Bovel. Il n'a jamais été en Eretz Yisraël. Ils n'ont pas pu revenir. Et les Knanim, ils étaient là, ils n'ont pas laissé. Et en fait, c'est ça, c'est ce que Manitou a comme preuve. Il dit que le fait que c'est que le terre a voulu monter et que c'est très intéressant, c'est tellement mystique. Personne n'explique pourquoi Terah voulait aller à Eretz Canaan et qu'il n'a pas allé à la terre. Je pense même une copie d'aller en Eretz Canaan. Qu'est-ce qu'il a cherché là-bas? Alors, Elio Kitov parle là-dessus. Il m'a montré Elio Kitov, il dit que parce qu'il a senti, il est sadikim et qu'il y a la mais bon, Terre n'était pas un grand. On peut dire qu'il était malin, c'était un businessman. Ouais, il y a une attirance. Ouais.
Et ils
adorent Israël, tout à fait. Ouais. C'est possible que c'est ça que Terah. Peut-être la raison simple, c'est comme Elio Kitov dit, que c'est on a senti quelque chose de profond. Mais après Manitou, en fait, non, c'est Terah a vu qu'il y en a une persécution, il y avait un Shoah, Urkazdim, on nous a brûlés, on nous a fait plein de problèmes. Maintenant, il est temps de revenir vers notre terre d'ancêtre et essayer de créer là-bas comment dire ça, une médine, un État. Mais finalement, ça n'a pas réussi. Et alors, bon, je m'ai dit, maintenant, toi, Abraham, non, toi, tu vas le faire et avec toi, tes enfants vont s'appeler les vrais Hébreux. Ce sera via les enfants d'Abraham qui sont des vrais Hébreux. Donc, la question que j'ai, c'est Ishmael est aussi un Hébreu et Ishmael n'a pas reçu. Donc, qu'est-ce que l'Ishmael a? L'Ishmael n'a pas reçu de terre. Pourquoi Ishmael n'a pas reçu de terre? Pourquoi Esav a reçu Har-Seir? Loït, Amon et Moab ont reçu la terre sainte, mais Ishmael pas. Ça, je n'ai pas de réponse. Donc ça reste encore une question que je n'ai pas de réponse. Mais en tout cas, c'est intéressant de connaître ce point de vue parce que ça, moi, personnellement, quand quelqu'un me dit, ouais, vous avez pris des Knaanim, ça m'a tout le temps dérangé parce que je n'avais pas de réponse. Ouais. Pourquoi notre bon Dieu est tellement... bon, ça... Mais là, avec Manitou, c'est clair. Ouais. Peut-être que je suis un gaullecier et j'ai besoin plus que simplement le bon Dieu nous a donné, point. Je suis un peu un gaullecier, je cherche quand même un peu de justification, justifier, être un peu... Peut-être c'est dans ma faiblesse. Ouais. Ah, il y a écrit Min ha'oretz hahi yotzo Ashur. Ah, il est parti. Je ne sais pas où c'est écrit. Min ha'oretz hahi yotzo Ashur.
Ashur. Non, mais de...
Min ha'oretz hahi yotzo Ashur yeven es nilve. Alors, le Meforshim m'explique, parce que Raventre me dit, le Meforshim m'explique que Min ha'oretz hahi yotzo Ashur, sorti le Dieu, le Ashur comme Dieu. Et en fait, ça veut dire c'est la partie masculine du Yud-Tevot. OK? Comme ça, après le travail me dit. Donc, tu vois là-bas, Kala. Kala, c'est la femme. Kala est de Hosni. Donc, on a vu, on fait bref, on a vu l'importance de la féminité de bon Dieu peut-être en tant que mère. C'était une achéro. Originellement, c'était une achéro. Et c'est pour ça que les Juifs se sentaient proches d'Achéro parce que cette féminité de bon Dieu est ce qui nous protège. Et ils voulaient se sentir protégés par la mère. Et donc, ils ont pris l'Achéro comme Dieu. Et le bon Dieu lui a dit non, c'est contre ce que je veux. Moi, je veux que vous voyez l'Achéro comme un avec de ne pas le séparer, mais de le voir comme un. En fait, ça, c'est la lune et le ciel et le soleil. Et c'est en fait la shrine, c'est une protection maternelle via ces knofayim, comment on dit ça? Les ailes qui nous protègent. Et en fait, c'est tachas kanfei hashrine, an kanfei hashrine. Et puis, je vous ai expliqué aussi que le lien entre la terre et l'acte humain c'est déconnecté après le Maboul. C'est pour ça qu'on a besoin d'un Maboul. Le Maboul a ramené le monde vers un Toyo Voyo. Toutes les choses des 3 premiers jours ont été détruites et après se sont réinstituées après pour changer ce lien. Et tellement peut-être en Eretz Israël, il y a eu ce lien qui est resté ou bien ça reste avec la pluie. Ça, je vais donner 2 réponses. Je vous ai aussi expliqué que c'est Elohim, Hisalech Noach, et Abraham, c'est Lifne Elohim, Hisalech Abraham doit aller devant Dieu et Noach allait avec Dieu. Noach était un bon soldat, mais n'a pas challengé le bon Dieu, n'a pas ramené le bon Dieu à un niveau avec qui on peut faire négociation.
Il n'a pas essayé de ramener
les autres. Ouais.
Le peuple.
Ouais. Ça, c'est un des problèmes. Et c'est pour ça que ça a pris 1 an. Pourquoi Noach a dû rester toute une année dans le bateau? Pourquoi il n'a pas pu sortir? Il a resté pendant 1 an, ça a duré. C'est parce qu'il explique que Noach devait apprendre à comment on dit ça? Apprendre à nourrir les animaux. Et il avait difficile parce que des fois il venait en retard et après le lion l'a presque mangé. Donc il devait arriver à temps. Donc il a dû apprendre à penser à l'autre aussi. Et c'est pour ça que ça a pris 1 an pour éduquer en fait Noach, pour qu'il puisse continuer à l'éducation de ses enfants. Et puis, je vous ai expliqué que Eretz Kenan était originellement l'Eretz Ivrit. C'est une théorie de Manitou et il ramène quelques preuves de différents textes. Et un peu ce que moi je ramène aussi, mais c'est Aknani Osboret et que Yosef dit à Paroy, mais Eretz Ivrim. Je viens, il leur dit Eretz Kenan. Pourquoi il dit Eretz Ivrim? C'est que Paroy a compris, Eretz Ivrim, je connais. C'était la terre de Kenan avant que les Kenan soient rentrés. Et donc, nous, en fait, nous avons reçu de retour, en fait, ce qui nous appartenait déjà au départ. C'est ça, en fait, ce que Rachid peut-être veut dire. C'est pour ça qu'on doit connaître ces Hébreux pour qu'on puisse répondre au Goïm. en fait, cette terre-là nous appartenait et que le bon Dieu nous a promis de nous le restituer et via les enfants d'Abraham. Voilà, mais qu'on puisse, comment dire ça, qu'on puisse tous monter et pas avec le Shofar Kotten, mais que ce soit le Shofar Godel Itoka et qu'on puisse tous monter en Eretz Israël et participer en devenant le Or Lagoïm et travailler pour changer pour que cette terre, que l'être l'humain arrête de faire des guerres et qu'on puisse vivre en paix et avec la prospérité qu'on souhaite. Ouais. Je vais commencer à donner vendredi soir. Il n'est pas là. Lionel?